My mother, Nancy Guthrie, is the heart of our family. At 84 years old, she has always been a source of strength, wisdom, and unwavering love for me, my sister Annie, and everyone who knows her. She has lived a full and vibrant life, much of it in the beautiful Catalina foothills of Tucson, Arizona, a place she has called home for many years. Her days were filled with simple joys, attending church, spending time with her loved ones, and enjoying the peaceful desert landscape. She is a woman of deep faith and routine, someone whose presence has always been a constant, comforting anchor in our lives. Her disappearance has shattered that sense of security, leaving a void that is honestly impossible to describe. The unimaginable nightmare began on the first day of February, 2026. What should have been a normal Sunday morning quickly turned into a day of panic and dread. My mom was reported missing from her home, a place she cherished and where she felt safest. The news came as a shock that rippled through our entire family, a sudden and violent disruption to the fabric of our lives. An 84-year-old woman, a beloved mother and grandmother, had simply vanished into thin air. The questions began immediately, each one more terrifying than the last. Where was she? Who could have done this? And was she safe? The fact that my mother is related to me, a public figure on the Today Show, has unfortunately added a complex and painful layer to this tragedy. While the media attention has helped spread the word and generate tips, it has also brought a level of scrutiny that no family should have to endure during such a crisis. But this story is not about me. It is about Nancy, a kind and gentle soul who was taken from her home in the middle of the night. It is about a crime that has left a community on edge and a family desperate for answers, praying for the safe return of the woman we love more than words can say. As the days have turned into weeks, the reality of her absence has become a heavy, persistent weight. Every morning we wake up hoping for a breakthrough, and every night we go to sleep with the same gnawing uncertainty. The search for my mother has become our singular focus, a relentless mission to bring her home. We are sharing her story not for attention, but out of a desperate need for help. Someone, somewhere, knows something. We are pleading with the public to listen, to look at the evidence, and to help us solve the mysterious and chilling disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. The last time my mother was seen safe and sound was on the evening of Saturday, January 31st, 2026. It was a completely ordinary night, the kind that offers no warning of the horror to come. My sister, Annie, and her husband, Tommaso Cioni, had spent the evening with her, a regular and cherished family routine. They dropped her off at her house in the Catalina foothills around 9:45 p.m. local time. They said their goodbyes, never imagining it would be the last time they would see her. She was in good spirits, looking forward to her Sunday morning church service, a weekly ritual she rarely missed. Everything about that evening seemed normal. My mother was home, ready to settle in for the night. There was no indication of any threat, no sense of impending danger. The neighborhood was quiet, just as it always was. Annie and Tommaso left her with the comforting thought that she was secure in her own home, surrounded by familiar things. That sense of normalcy is what makes this so difficult to comprehend. The transition from a peaceful Saturday night to a terrifying mystery happened in the silent, unseen hours while the city of Tucson slept, completely unaware of the crime unfolding within one of its quietest communities. The alarm was first raised the following day, on Sunday, February 1st. When my mother failed to show up for her morning church service, a small seed of worry was planted. For her, missing church was highly unusual. It was a cornerstone of her weekly routine. Friends who expected to see her there grew concerned when she didn't arrive. Her absence was noted, and calls to her phone went unanswered. That initial unease quickly escalated into genuine alarm as the hours ticked by. By around noon, the worry had turned into full-blown panic, and the difficult decision was made to contact the authorities and report her missing. That call marked the official beginning of the investigation and our family's public nightmare. The discovery that my mother was not in her home and that her personal belongings were still there confirmed our deepest fears. She hadn't just wandered off or decided to take an unannounced trip. Something terrible had happened. The timeline of her disappearance began to take shape, with those final, ordinary moments shared with Annie and Tommaso representing the last confirmed sighting. The hours between 9:45 p.m. on Saturday and noon on Sunday became a critical window, a dark void that investigators would need to piece together, clue by painstaking clue. When investigators from the Pima County Sheriff's Office arrived at my mother's home, they were immediately confronted with a scene that told a chilling story. It was clear from the outset that she had not left of her own free will. Inside her house, they found all the essential items she would never voluntarily leave behind. Her wallet and phone were there, untouched. Her car was still parked in its usual spot. Most critically, her daily medications and her hearing aid were also left behind. For an 84-year-old woman who relies on these items for her health and well-being, abandoning them is simply unthinkable. This evidence pointed directly to a sudden and violent abduction. The most horrifying discovery was made on the front porch. Investigators found a trail of blood on the stoop and surrounding area. The dread we felt upon hearing this news is honestly indescribable. Subsequent DNA analysis confirmed our worst fears. The blood belonged to my mother. This physical evidence transformed the case from a missing person investigation into a violent crime. It suggested a struggle, an attack that happened right at her front door. There were no immediate signs of forced entry into the house itself, which made the scene even more perplexing. It implied a level of planning and premeditation that sent a shiver down our spines. Adding another layer of sinister intent to the crime was the discovery that my mother's doorbell camera was missing. This was not an accident or a malfunction. The device had been deliberately disconnected and physically removed from its mounting. This single act spoke volumes about the perpetrator. It showed a clear and calculated effort to eliminate a key source of evidence, a modern-day witness that could have captured the entire event. The person who did this knew what they were doing. They understood the importance of digital surveillance and took a specific, intentional step to conceal their identity and their actions from being recorded. The combination of these clues painted a grim and terrifying picture of what transpired that night. The personal items left behind confirmed she was taken against her will. The blood on the porch confirmed the encounter was violent. And the missing doorbell camera confirmed the act was premeditated by a perpetrator who came prepared to cover their tracks. The home that was once a sanctuary for my mother had been violated, transformed into a crime scene that held the first critical, yet heartbreaking, pieces of a puzzle we are now desperate to solve. The evidence left behind was not just a collection of objects. It was a silent testament to a brutal and calculated abduction. In an age where our lives are constantly connected, the digital footprints we leave behind can often tell a story that physical evidence cannot. While the suspect deliberately removed the doorbell camera from my mother's front door, they failed to erase the electronic trail completely. The FBI, with its advanced technical capabilities, was able to recover crucial footage from the Nest camera's back-end cloud servers. This breakthrough provided the investigation with its first glimpse of the person responsible for this heinous act. The data, stored remotely, had survived the perpetrator's attempt to destroy it, offering a vital window into the events of that terrible night. The recovered footage revealed a chilling timeline of the abduction. At 1:47 a.m. on the morning of February 1st, the camera captured its own demise. A figure is seen approaching the door and deliberately disconnecting the device. Moments later, the camera goes dark. This timestamp provided investigators with a precise moment when the abductor was at my mother's home, initiating their attack. But the digital trail did not end there. Further analysis of the home's smart devices detected more motion at 2:12 a.m., suggesting continued activity inside or around the property during that critical period. These digital breadcrumbs began to form a timeline of terror. Perhaps the most haunting piece of digital evidence came from an unexpected source: my mother's pacemaker. The modern medical device is equipped with a Bluetooth feature that syncs with an application on her iPhone. Investigators discovered that the pacemaker's Bluetooth connection to her phone was lost at precisely 2:28 a.m. This is the moment she was likely moved out of the phone's range, forcibly taken from her home and driven away into the night. It is a sterile technical data point that represents a moment of profound human tragedy, the final electronic whisper before she was swallowed by the darkness. These digital clues have been absolutely essential for the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Office. They have helped establish a concrete timeline, moving the investigation from speculation to fact-based analysis. The disconnection of the camera at 1:47 a.m., the subsequent motion detected at 2:12 a.m., and the final pacemaker signal at 2:28 a.m. create a 41-minute window of terror. This electronic ghost, left behind by the suspect's actions and my mother's own medical technology, has become one of the most powerful tools in the ongoing search for answers, and we pray for her safe return. The fragments of video footage recovered by the FBI have given us our only look at the individual who invaded my mother's home. Though the images are haunting, they provide critical details about the suspect. The person is seen wearing a mask, deliberately concealing their face to avoid identification. This act alone confirms the premeditated nature of the crime. This was not a random act of violence. It was a planned abduction carried out by someone who came prepared to hide their identity. The suspect is described as a male, estimated to be between 5 feet 9 inches and 5 feet 10 inches in height, a detail that helps narrow the search. Beyond the mask, the suspect's attire provides further clues for investigators. He is seen wearing gloves, another calculated measure to avoid leaving fingerprints or DNA evidence at the scene. He carries a black 25-liter Ozark Trail backpack, a common and widely available item, but one that could be a key identifier if seen in other contexts or surveillance footage. Most alarmingly, the video shows what appears to be a gun holstered at the front of his body. The presence of a weapon confirms the high level of threat and the violence inherent in this abduction. This was an armed and dangerous individual who used the threat of deadly force to subdue an 84-year-old woman. The timeline of the suspect's actions, pieced together from digital evidence, reveals a chilling efficiency. He arrived shortly before 1:47 a.m., immediately disabling the primary security camera. He then spent over half an hour at the property, a period during which the violent struggle on the porch must have occurred, before leaving with my mother by 2:28 a.m. This timeline suggests a person who was confident and methodical, someone who was not acting impulsively. Investigators believe this was a targeted kidnapping, meaning the suspect likely knew who my mother was, where she lived, and possibly even details about her routine or our family. The profile of the suspect is that of a prepared and ruthless criminal. The mask, the gloves, the weapon, and the precise timing all point to a planned operation. The FBI and local law enforcement are now meticulously analyzing this information, cross-referencing it with thousands of hours of other surveillance videos from the surrounding area. They are looking for a car that might match the timeline, a person fitting the description, or any other small detail that could lead to a breakthrough. Identifying this shadow in the night is the key to finding my mother, and we are holding on to hope that someone will recognize a piece of this description and have the courage to come forward. In the face of this unimaginable horror, our family has been forced to channel our grief and fear into action. One of our first and most painful duties was to speak publicly about what had happened. As a journalist, I am used to reporting the news, but standing before the cameras to plead for my own mother's life is a role I never thought I would have to play. With my voice shaking, I have made appeals on social media and on the Today Show, begging anyone with information to contact the authorities. These pleas are not for sympathy. They are a desperate attempt to reach the one person who might hold the key to bringing Nancy home. To encourage anyone who might be hesitant to come forward, our family has gathered our resources to offer a reward of up to $1 million. This money is for any information that leads directly to my mother's safe recovery. The FBI has established criteria for how this reward can be paid, ensuring it can be delivered in cash or other forms to protect the anonymity and safety of a potential informant. We hope that this substantial sum will motivate someone to break their silence. No amount of money can compare to the value of my mother's life, and we are willing to do whatever it takes to get her back. Early in the investigation, law enforcement took the important step of publicly clearing our family of any involvement. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos addressed the cruel and baseless rumors that had begun to circulate, stating unequivocally that I, my sister Annie, and her husband Tommaso were not suspects. While this was a relief, it was also a painful reminder of the scrutiny that families in our position often face. Our focus has been singular: to cooperate fully with the FBI and local police, providing them with any information that could possibly help, and to use our public platform to keep my mother's story in the spotlight. The emotional toll of this ordeal is immeasurable. Experts call it ambiguous loss, a state of grieving for someone who is missing but not confirmed to be gone. It is a constant state of limbo, suspended between hope and despair. I have had to step back from some of my work duties, including my planned coverage of the Olympics, because my only priority right now is the search for my mom. Our family is united in this mission. We will not rest, we will not be silent, and we will not lose hope until we have answers. We are just a family that wants our mother back. The investigation into my mother's disappearance is a massive and complex operation, led by a joint task force of the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Office. From the moment she was reported missing, law enforcement has dedicated enormous resources to the case. Dozens of agents and officers are working around the clock, pursuing every possible lead. The investigation spans multiple fronts, from forensic analysis of the physical evidence found at her home to the intricate work of tracing digital clues left behind. The scale of the effort reflects the severity of the crime and the urgent need to find an elderly and vulnerable victim. A significant part of the investigation involves sifting through an immense volume of video footage. Detectives are reviewing more than 10,000 hours of surveillance video collected from homes and businesses across the Tucson-area. They are painstakingly searching for any sign of the suspect's vehicle or the suspect themselves, both before and after the abduction timeline. This is a monumental task, like looking for a needle in a haystack, but it is essential work. A single frame showing a car turning down a specific street at a particular time could be the breakthrough the case needs. The public has been instrumental, providing hundreds of tips and camera footage to aid in this exhaustive search. Over the course of the investigation, several leads have been pursued. On February 10th, a man named Carlos Palazuelos was identified as a person of interest. He was detained following a traffic stop, and his home was searched by investigators. However, after being questioned, he was later released without any charges being filed against him. The investigation has also been complicated by unverified ransom notes sent to the family, demanding payment in cryptocurrency. 2 deadlines set by these supposed kidnappers have passed without any further contact, leading authorities to believe they may be cruel hoaxes designed to exploit our family's pain. As of today, February 27, 2026, my mother has been missing for nearly a month. Despite the tireless efforts of law enforcement and the flood of tips from the public, her whereabouts and her condition remain unknown. The case is still very much active, with investigators continuing to follow new leads every day. They are re-examining evidence, interviewing potential witnesses, and using every technological tool at their disposal. The passage of time is our greatest enemy, but the resolve of the investigators has not wavered. They are as determined as we are to bring my mother home and bring the person responsible to justice. As the investigation has progressed, the leading theory among law enforcement officials is that my mother was the victim of a targeted kidnapping. This was not a random burglary that went wrong or a crime of opportunity. The evidence strongly suggests that the perpetrator came to her house with the specific intention of abducting her. The careful planning, including the disabling of the security camera and the use of a mask and gloves, points to a deliberate and premeditated act. The suspect knew where she lived, chose a time when she would be alone and vulnerable, and executed their plan with chilling precision. The question that torments our family and investigators is why? What was the motive? One theory is that the kidnapping was financially motivated, with the perpetrator intending to demand a ransom. This theory is supported by the fact that I am a public figure, and the criminal may have wrongly assumed our family has access to vast sums of money. The unverified ransom notes, while likely hoaxes, show that the idea of a financial motive is on people's minds. However, the lack of any credible contact from a kidnapper makes this theory complicated. A kidnapper who wants money typically makes their demands known quickly and clearly. Another painful possibility is that the abduction was motivated by a personal grievance or obsession. Perhaps the perpetrator holds a grudge against me or our family, and this horrific act is their way of inflicting pain. It is a terrifying thought that someone's hatred could manifest in such a cruel and violent way, targeting the most vulnerable member of our family to cause the most suffering. Investigators are likely exploring our family's connections, looking for anyone who may have expressed animosity or displayed obsessive behavior in the past. This line of inquiry turns our personal lives inside out, but it is a necessary part of the search for answers. Ultimately, so much remains a mystery. We do not know if the suspect acted alone or had help. We do not know their identity or their ultimate goal. We do not know if my mother's connection to me was the primary reason she was targeted, or if there is another, unknown motive at play. Each theory brings with it a unique kind of torment. The uncertainty is a heavy burden, as we are left to cycle through the worst-case scenarios, praying that the simplest explanation, one that ends with her safe return, is the true one. Until the suspect is found, the why will continue to haunt us every single day. Today marks the 27th day since my mother Nancy was taken from us. Each day that passes without news is another day filled with anxiety and a profound sense of loss. Yet, despite the darkness and the uncertainty, we are not giving up. The search for my mother is continuing with the same urgency and determination as it did on day one. The FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Office remain fully committed to the case, and our family remains fully committed to supporting their efforts in every way we can. We are holding on to hope with every fiber of our being because hope is all we have. Our family's hope is fueled by the incredible outpouring of support we have received from the public. Friends, neighbors, and complete strangers from across the country have reached out to offer their prayers and support. The media has been instrumental in keeping my mother's story in the public eye, ensuring that her face and her story are not forgotten. This collective energy gives us strength. It reminds us that we are not alone in this fight. We believe that the key to finding Nancy lies with someone out there who has seen something or knows something. And the more people who are aware of her case, the greater the chance that person will come forward. This is where you can help. We are making a direct and desperate plea to anyone who may have information, no matter how insignificant it may seem. Please look at the description of the suspect, a male, 5'9" to 5'10", wearing a mask, gloves, and carrying a black Ozark Trail backpack on the night of January 31st into February 1st in Tucson. Think about any unusual activity you may have seen or heard in the Catalina foothills area around that time. If you have any information, we implore you to do the right thing. You can report tips anonymously to the FBI by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI. Our family's world has been shattered, but our hope remains unbroken. We pray every day for my mother's safe return. We pray for the strength of the investigators working to find her, and we pray for the courage of the person with information to make that crucial call. Nancy Guthrie is a mother, a grandmother, and a cherished friend. She is loved, she is missed beyond measure, and we will not stop searching until she is home. Please, help us bring Nancy home.